Welcome to my presentation. In this presentation, let us see another example where we can use the laws of exponents to be able to solve it. Let's take this example here. And in this example, let's say we want to simplify. We want to simplify this expression. Negative 36 x to the power of negative 1 y to the power of negative 6 divided by 4 x to the power of negative 1 y to the power of 4. This whole thing is raised to the power of negative 2. Okay, so we will use the laws of exponents to be able to simplify this, and then we will break it down into these simple steps so that we will be able to better understand the procedure in solving this problem. As we can see, inside the brackets we have similar looking terms, so let's write them down together. Negative 36 divided by 4, those are the coefficient terms. We wrote them together. And then we have x to the power of negative 1 divided by x to the power of negative 1, those are similar terms. And then we have y to the power of negative 6 and y to the power of positive 4, and this whole thing is going to be raised to the power of negative 2. The way we can simplify this is as follows. Since 36 is a multiples of 4, 4 times 1 is 4, 4 times 9 is 36. So we can write this as negative 9 times, as you can see here, there is a negative x and the negative x in the numerator and denominator. We can cancel them out that way, or if we were to bring it up to the numerator, it is going to be x to the power of 0, and therefore x to the power of 0 is going to be equal to 1, and therefore I'm just going to write that as 1 there. And then in the as far as the y terms are concerned, we have y to the power of negative 6 in the numerator, y to the power of 4 in the denominator. So I'm going to write these terms in the denominator itself. So I have y to the power of 4 times y to the power of positive 6, and this whole thing is raised to the power of negative 2. And now when we simplify this further, we can write this one as follows. Negative 9 times 1 over y to the power of, since the bases are the same, we can write the base ones and we can combine the powers. So 4 plus 6 is 10. This whole thing is raised to the power of negative 2. So therefore we can write this one as negative 9 divided by y to the power of 10. This whole thing is raised to the power of negative 2. Now as step 2, we will write this as follows. We'll write this as follows. In here, every one of these terms needs to be raised to the second power. Negative 9 is raised to the power of negative 2 divided by y to the power of 10 is raised to the power of negative 2. And when we write it out, we can write it out in this manner. The negative sign is raised to the power of negative 2, 9 is raised to the power of negative 2, and then in here y to the power of 10 times negative 2. That is the way we can write that out, because a to the power of m, this, if we have an exponent and if that exponent is raised to another exponent, we write the base term and multiply the power terms. Therefore that is what we are doing here. And therefore negative 1 raised to the power of 2. How do we write that? Negative 1 raised to the power of negative 1 raised to the power of negative 2. So I can write this one as 1 over negative 1 raised to the power of positive 2, right? So negative 1 raised to the power of 2 means negative 1 times negative 1, which is going to be equal to positive 1. So therefore negative 1 raised to the power of negative 2 will be positive 1. So therefore I can write that as 1 times 9 raised to the power of negative 2. 9 raised to the power of negative 2, I can write this as 1 over 9 to the power of 2. Or I can write this one as 1 over 9 times 9, which is going to be equal to 1 over 81. So 1 over 81 like that. And then in the denominator I already have 1 over y to the power of negative 20. 10 times 2 is 20 with a negative sign. Since I have a negative power in the denominator, if I were to bring it up to the numerator, let me write that as step number 3. If I were to bring it up to the numerator, I can write it as y to the power of 20 divided by 81. And that is where we want to leave it. This is our answer. This is the way we can simplify these example problems using the laws of exponents. In my next presentation, we shall see how to use the laws of exponents to simplify some more example problems.